Why Batman being an atheist is even bigger than you think. If you haven't been reading the comics lately, the Caped Crusader has had a pretty tough year, starting with his big wedding to Catwoman Selina Kyle being called off after she left him at the altar in Batman number 50. The DC version of the Julia Roberts rom-com Runaway Bride, but with superheroes, left a bad taste in many a fan's mouth, not just because it was an arc that seemingly went kaput after building for months, but also because the New York Times spoiled the issue before it even hit stands. Batman writer Tom King commented on the New York Times spoiler, tweeting, "I'm pissed about things and excited about other things. I have no idea how to comment on anything without spoiling everything." King later stressed in an interview with Entertainment Weekly that he has big plans for his 100-issue run with The Dark Knight, saying, "My job as a Batman writer is to show you something you've never seen before. A Batman who has been left at the altar, who was that close to happiness, and then to have it yanked away from him. That's something you haven't seen before." And with 3 issues under the belt since Batman and Catwoman's big split, let's just say Bruce Wayne isn't taking it too well. Rather than putting on his favorite sweatpants and drowning his sorrows in a pint of Ben & Jerry's, Batman got over his ex by viciously beating the ice cubes out of Mr. Freeze before taking him into custody. And because DC Comics has more weird coincidences than the Charles Dickens 1861 novel Great Expectations, it turns out that Bruce Wayne was placed on the jury for Mr. Freeze's trial. And that takes us to Batman issue number 53, released last week. The issue largely takes place in the jury room, with Bruce being the only person on the jury that believes and knows that Mr. Freeze is innocent. It's like the 1957 film 12 Angry Men if one of the men was Batman. While trying to convince the other jurors that Mr. Freeze was not guilty of the crimes that he himself took Freeze in for, Bruce describes his faith to the room in great detail. He explains that his dad, Thomas Wayne, was deeply religious, and Bruce accepted his Christian upbringing until his parents were murdered by Joe Chill. He then admits that after their deaths, he would eventually put that faith into the Batman as a god, going so far as to say, "God is above us and he wears a cape." But as we soon find out, Bruce realizes that his faith would become misplaced as God needs to be infallible, and after falsely apprehending Mr. Freeze, Batman is clearly not that. Now, this atheist reveal sent shockwaves through the DC fandom, with articles about Bruce Wayne's religious preference spreading through the internet like vines from poison ivy, but it turns out there's a lot more going on here than Bruce's lack of faith. So why is the reveal of Bat's spiritual beliefs such a big deal? Well, despite the fact that Batman has gone toe-to-toe with actual gods and has literally died and come back to life multiple times, people were surprised at this reveal that he has no faith in a deity. So does he not believe in himself anymore? Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh,
Now, rewind back to his recent heartbreak from being left at the altar by Selina Kyle. At the end of the issue, we find out the true reason behind the breakup. The reason Selina gave for dumping the Bat is that if they were to get married, Batman would be happy, and the broody vigilante can't do his job if he's happy. Now, that's one of the harshest breakup lines possibly ever, but it turns out there was more behind her motivations. I love that. It's me, not you. Whatever, Selina. It turns out that Selina was urged by her friend Holly Robinson to break up with Batman, and as the final page of the comic issue reveals, Holly was sent by Bane to break up the couple. So the man who broke Batman's back is now out to break his spirit too. Of course, this type of complete spiritual breaking down of Batman orchestrated by Bane won't just happen over the course of one issue. In that interview with Entertainment Weekly, Batman writer Tom King teased what's to come in the next 50 issues of King's 100-issue run of the Bat story, now that the cat is out of the marriage. King said we'll see Bruce Wayne try to find his way back from the pain of being left by Selina, and we'll see the original Robin come back to help Bruce as he tries to move on from the breakup. But what will happen at the end of the next 50 issues of the Bat being spiritually broken down? We speculate that this long game of Bane messing with Batman and killing him in the fields could lead to Bruce Wayne completely stepping away as Batman. Now, the Caped Crusader role has been filled by other people before: Azrael, Nightwing, Jim Gordon, so it wouldn't be unprecedented for Bruce Wayne to vacate the job and leave the Dark Knight work to somebody else. But what do you folks think? Will Bruce Wayne make it through Bane's psychological warfare and still be Batman at the end? Who would make a good replacement for Bruce while he's off getting his groove back? And how do you think Batman is an atheist if he literally has died and come back to life? Let's discuss. Be sure to like, subscribe, and mash that little bell to get notified every time we go live with the show or drop a new video. And have you checked out Nerdist News What the Friday? It's our pop culture weekend review breakdown where we discuss, debate, and then get too heated over awesome trivia. You can check it out Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific on ProjectAlpha.com. Use the promo code ALPHA60 to get a 60-day free trial. And if you miss it live, you can always check out the free podcast version on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts are found.